Assalamu alaikum, hello and namaste. Welcome to another inspiring episode number 102 of the Limelight. Well, today on the hot seat we have a very sweet personality. She is a pre-primary coordinator in a school in Mangalore, and she is also a mother to a 12-year-old boy who is really sweet and he always cooks yummy recipes. Okay, so listeners, please welcome our guest, Smitha Jackline Amanna. Hello, Smitha. How are you doing today?
Hello, Fareen. I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, and it's a pleasure to have you on my podcast.
Thank you, Fareen. Thank you for this opportunity. I was looking forward for this day.
Yes, and listeners, Smita, she is my schoolmate. I've known her since like childhood, and but after that we lost connection. But recently, I think like 2 to 3 months back, I got to meet her on Instagram, and that's how we connected, right, Smita?
Yes, Fareen, that's right.
Okay, so Smita, it's better that you tell about yourself to the listeners.
Thank you, Fareen. I'm Mrs. Smitha Jackline. I am from Mangalore and I've completed my BCom and I've been working here. Then I got married. I went to Sudan. I was there for 10 years and there I started working as a pre-primary teacher and then got promoted as a coordinator. Then I came back to India 4 years back, and now I'm in India working as a pre-primary coordinator. And I'm blessed with a son, as Fareen told. He's 12-year-old. So this is in short about me.
Yes. So I just pray that God blesses you and your family with all the health and happiness in life, Smita.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So tell me, Smita, what interested you to be, in the education field?
Actually, I had no interest, to be very honest, in
Okay.
education field, because if you remember how we had our schooling, it was quite strict and all those things. In school. But yes, I definitely felt afterwards, later on, it really had an impact. But as in childhood, I never liked because we had a lot of rules and regulations. So I thought, okay, the image of a teacher was like, always strict, strict kind of. So, but then once I got married and went to Sudan, I didn't want to be just a mere housewife, but I wanted to keep working. But language was a problem. But school, being a teacher, was the best option wherein I didn't have to learn the language and I could easily get in as a teacher and work at the same time have time for my son, because there it was very difficult for me to leave Noll all on his own with some unknown person. So he was going to school and I was going to school with him. So this is how I took up the career as a teacher, but now I'm loving it.
Yes, so the most respected profession of all, and the
Yeah.
person who educates and gives us so much to our life is a teacher, and we respect all the teachers, and I respect you too. So, Smita, I had heard, and you told me the story, what happened in your life, the incident, the miracle. I want you to tell the same to our listeners because I feel there's so much to learn about humanity, so much to learn about the faith and trust we have in ourselves. So, can you just tell that to our listeners?
Sure, Farin. Yes, definitely. I would want to share this with everyone. Um, as I told you, I got married and I went to Sudan. My pregnancy with Nal, I came down to India for delivery. Later, that is after 7 years, I was expecting my second child. But then I thought Nal's education would be hindered or hampered. So I thought instead of coming down, I would stay back in Sudan and deliver. So I took back my mom there. Everything was going on smoothly, but until my 7th month of pregnancy, we came to know that I had high BP, and doctor gave me medication, but somehow the BP didn't come under control. She was unable to bring it under control, and then she suggested I go back to India. But the situation was so not so good for me to travel back, because almost I was by then under medication and bed rest. But unable to travel. So it was very huge risk. So there we searched for, she told she gave up in between, in fact. So we had to look for another gynecologist. He assured us everything would go well, but I don't know, there was, it is called destiny or whatever. He took me under his wings, and I was kind of okay. But then ultimately one fine day I started bleeding all of a sudden in the afternoon, and it was so bad that I had to just stand in the washroom, But within half an hour, I was taken to the hospital, but we couldn't save our child. By the time we reached the hospital, the baby was no more. So they had to, but the bleeding had stopped. They induced pain and tried to bring out the baby, but in the entire process, I started bleeding all over again, which they couldn't stop. So they had to do a hysterectomy. And while doing this, I came out normal, but without my baby. I was in the ICU, and none of them had noticed there was something weird. But as everyone used to say, God always helps us in different ways. So here I witnessed, there was one doctor who just walked in to say hi to me. It was a maternity hospital. He came to know there's an Indian in Sudan who has lost a child and in the ICU, and had to undergo a hysterectomy at a very young age. So he just came to say hi, and he actually happened to see that I was not passing urine. My catheter was empty, and he felt there's something wrong. He knew there was something wrong, and he just told my husband about this. And my husband, he said, till the next day we will wait. If nothing happens, then it's not a good sign at all. And God sent him as an angel in my life. And next day he didn't have to come at all, but he did come to check on me, and still there was no urine in the catheter. And he told my husband that things have to be taken seriously, and I have to be taken into an emergency for certain checkups. And this being maternity hospital, it didn't have all the facilities, unlike the other super specialty hospitals. So he suggested one urologist, and this doctor, the previous day itself, he has gone and spoken to the urologist because he knew there was seriously something wrong, and he had convinced that urologist to take my case. And he suggested this to my husband, and my husband was a little reluctant because the hospital was very small. So this doctor particularly told, if it was my sister in her place, I would have taken her to the same doctor. So then it's up to you. After that doctor said so much, my husband agreed, and I was rushed to the other hospital. And my mom was with me. She had come for delivery to help me in my delivery. And my son, they both were in the same maternity hospital. Only me and my husband went to the other hospital along with that particular doctor. But as soon as they did all the tests, they came to know that I was almost in a verge of collapsing. It was like hardly few minutes or hours left for me.
Oh God.
And I could see the panic on everyone's face, Fareen. Until then, I was like in trauma when I was in a maternity hospital. Those 2 days, I was not able to deal with the loss of my child. I was not crying, I was not talking to anyone. I was just quiet, that stone kind. And when they took me here, I came to my senses and I realized that, okay, things are not okay. Everyone, there's hustle bustle in the entire place, wherever I've been taken to. And then ultimately they took me to the operation theater. And my husband, who was always by my side, suddenly disappeared. I don't know. He just went and sat somewhere in a distant place. And I was wondering what happened, why he left me and he went and sat. I didn't realize. And then he came and he spoke to me after some time. But I realized that something is wrong. I asked him, am I going to die? Direct question. I shooted at him. And he didn't. He was just blank. And I told her, I know that things are not okay, and I may not make it. So he's like, no, nothing will happen. Everything will be fine. And he was sent out after that. And I told my last wish also, to be very honest. But the thing is, my only concern was my son and my mother were in the other hospital. So it's like my thoughts were like, okay, what if I don't make it through the surgery? What about my the last goodbye? So this was the feeling. But then I was just praying to God. God just saved me. You took my younger one away, at least, but keep me alive for my elder one. Because Noll was only going to complete 8. He was not even 8. In a week's time, he was supposed to be 8. So I was like, he needs a mother. He's too small. And there was a lot of attachment between us. And then it was like, I was just praying to God. In that moment also, no, I was just praying. And then whoever was there beside me, because I was almost sinking, I was like becoming blurred, kind of, I was not knowing who is who and what is happening around. I was just holding everyone's hand and I was like trying to, stopping everyone, and it's like, please save me, do anything what you have to do, but save me. I lost my younger one, but please keep me alive for my elder one. I didn't know who is who and what, who is the doctor, who is nothing. I just was holding everyone's hand and, crying. That's all I know. After that, my surgery took place, and by God's grace, he was really very, kind enough. He brought me back through all this. And when I opened my eyes, my husband came and he spoke to me and he's like, you're fine. Everything is fine. They're shifting you to the ICU. Just be calm and quiet and all that he said. And because nobody is allowed inside. So this was the entire thing. But that was not the end of it there. God has different plans for me. Still, like, I was not very stable. I was not in a stable condition. But then I was shifted to the room after a week's time. I became a little bit stable, but things were not all right. I had to undergo another surgery again, the third one. This was loss of my child and 3 surgeries in a span of like, a week or 10 days time. And it was like a miracle only, because everyone thought I would not make it at all, because the second surgery, emergency surgery, what had happened, after I recovered and came back to room and I became normal, my husband told me saying that the doctors had come and told him. I asked him why you weren't there in between when they were taking me to the operation theater. Why did you go and sit away from me? So they told me that be prepared, anything can happen. So the doctors had told my husband that chances are very thin. So 99.9% they had told I will not make it. And only 0.1 chances were there of my survival. So this is how it was. But yeah, 2 surgeries, I came out normal. And it was like everyone told me, including my doctor, this is a miracle only. You are a miracle child. Because there was no way, no chance. We also had given up hope. But only God performed miracle in your life and gave you back your life. But there was some more mess in my life. Things were not all right. I came out of all these surgeries. I had a gift of life, but then I didn't have my bladder control. So I was there in the hospital for around 1.5 months after all this, 3 surgeries and loss of my child and 3 surgeries. And but Fareen, I was crying initially that I just want to come back to India. I don't want to be in Sudan. I hate Sudan because all this happened. I lost everything, my baby, my health, etc. But then when I look back, and then after some time when I actually calmed down and came out of the trauma little by little, I realized how God had performed miracles through different people in my life. So it's like every step, He has sent someone or the other through as angels, unknown people, where there's no connection between me and them. The doctor who found out that I was not passing urine, he was a God sent angel only. If he had not come, I would not be there today. I would not be doing this recording either. It would have been 4 years. It's 4 years now. And then the urologist, he has done an amazing job of saving me. Yes, in the entire process, there were certain things, because his major goal was to save me. Small things, damages could be rectified later also. So he saved me. That was another thing. And I had lost so much of blood in the entire process that they had to give me huge amount of blood. During that time, my husband's factory workers, they had come voluntarily as soon as they came to know that I need blood, and without any difficulty, I got blood. More than 24 plus bottles, I think. I have a count till up to 24. After that, I have stopped counting. So every time I wanted, they were there for me. And I don't know these people, to be very honest, Fareen. I have not met these people because they work inside the factory. I've been to my husband's office. I meet a few people. I say hi, bye, that's it. But these people who are inside the factory, I've never met them. But they know me. and some don't even know me, but they have been there for me all the time. And my husband, once I started walking, he took me out of the in the corridor, hospital corridor, and he showed me. They were all there sitting, such a huge batch of people from his factory, waiting downstairs, thinking that I may need blood any time or I may need any medication, and it's not easy to find it. So
Okay.
to help us out, they were always there sitting down outside the hospital in the hot sun. You know how these Gulf countries are. It's so hot outside,
Yes.
extreme temperature, either extremely hot or extremely cold.
Yeah.
So there's no shelter or anything, and they were sitting outside in the spreading a rug, you know. And they used to always every day come and say hi to me and all these things. I've seen so much of love, care, and affection for me in an unknown country. But there, I was there, still not okay. I got discharged. I came home, but as I told you, I didn't have bladder control. Then this all happened in the end of September. I came down to Mangalore by the end of November, and then here again I had treatment from the urologist. One of the gynecologists whom I had gone to initially, she told me outrightly, no, nobody will touch you. You are like an accident case.
Oh,
You require a bladder transplantation.
oh my God.
It gave me a shock of life, to be very honest, because I was not yet out of all this mess. I just reached India, thinking that things will be okay. And I was suggested I was supposed to go to a gynecologist because it was supposed to be a minor thing, they thought, rectification. But the way she gave me uh, the verdict, I had second thoughts. I wish I was dead.
My God.
Because the way she told it is bladder transplantation, it's not an easy one.
Yeah.
Nobody, and she told me another 6 months nobody is going to touch you. So you can imagine after losing your child and three surgeries and you just came down, I need 24/7 assistance to do any work. Anything means anything. I can't go walking alone. I may fall somewhere. Anything for that matter. I'm using an adult diaper because I don't have an bladder control, and all this is there. I'm struggling to come out of things, accept things, and this lady told me like this, and I was like shock of life. At home, after coming, I did have certain suicidal
Oh
tendencies,
my
to be very
God.
honest. Yes. So, but I'm not that person who will harm myself because I had so many people to take care of me, my parents especially and my brother. From small, they were very protective about me, and one small hurt, they were there to pamper me and fuss over me. And after that, my husband was there, who was always very caring. So I would never think of hurting myself. It was next to impossible. So, and then I came home. I was just had mixed feelings. Then I thought, okay, I'll go to my physician, who is my family doctor, and I'll ask for a recommendation. And when I went to her, she suggested me a neurologist who was supposed to be the top urologist in Mangalore. And I went to him, and he was like, he heard my entire story without interrupting, and he's like, "Don't worry. You are in India. You are in Mangalore. You are at home. I will take care of you. I will do the best whatever I can." And make sure you get the best of the treatment. You don't have to worry. And as he promised Fareen, he kept up to his promise. He actually went out of the way to take care of me. I mean, I can't explain that. I'm so grateful for to him that he's always been there for me any time. And I got admitted several times because then doctor said we can wait for some time. I know, but there is a surgery which you require. It's a major one, but we'll wait and give time for your body to heal. So he gave me some time, and then I underwent another surgery. In between that, I was getting hospitalized and coming out and all those things because of infection. Then he told we will do the surgery, and luckily, as he promised, he did the surgery, and I didn't have to use an adult diaper after that. It's so terrible to use an adult diaper. Not having a bladder control, you cannot use a washroom. You have to be 24/7 in the wearing an adult diaper. It's hell. He was like, he did the best possible thing, and today I am normal like everyone else. I had a lot of questions whether I will be alive because even he didn't have answers to my questions whether I will be alive or if I'm going to be alive, whether I'll be normal person. I came with a bundle of complications, and those
Mhm.
complications were like nobody could answer those questions of mine. Even my doctor in Mangalore. So he used to only scold me whenever I asked his questions. He's like, "Don't ask me any question. You have to wait and be patient and let me do my work. But I will assure you that I will do my best." And he did make everything possible, and he made sure that I underwent the surgery. Everything came back to normal. But then he told the process is going to take time. Healing will take time.
Mhm.
Don't expect miracles to happen, Smitha, overnight. It will not happen because so much damage was done.
Okay.
So it is going to take time. You have to be patient. After the surgery, also, I was falling sick with the UTI and all those things very frequently. So he told me it'll take 4 to 5 years, the entire process.
Okay.
So this is how it was. And in a month of October end, also, as I told you, I was again hospitalized. I had to go undergo another procedure. By God's grace, I came out fine there also. So God has been very gracious to me throughout. But the thing is, entire process, I came to know that I am a different, unique person. I always thought I was unique, but I didn't know I was very unique because everyone has two urine pipes. Okay,
Okay.
one to the left and one to the right.
Mhm.
I have four, two to the
Wow.
right and two to the left.
Mhm.
So I'm extremely unique and I'm very proud of it, which I didn't know at all.
Okay.
So in the entire process of this, when the hysterectomy was done, they had stitched my urine pipes on both the sides. That's why I was not passing urine at all.
Okay.
So that urine got accumulated inside my body,
Mhm.
and that's why I had to undergo so many surgeries, one after the
Mhm.
other. So one side they had rectified in Sudan. Doctor
Mhm.
found out and he stitched and jointed and made it correct.
Okay.
The other side, once I came to Mangalore, they saw that the other side also has two pipes and it was damaged, and
Mhm.
that's why the leak. I didn't have bladder control, etc.
Mhm.
So they had to join those pipes and all those things. So my doctor in Mangalore, Dr. Lakshman Prabhu, he always says in Kannada he says, "Got them married." Make me smile and laugh. No, he always cracks jokes and all those things.
Okay.
So it's like a lot of things have happened. So, but now by God's grace, I'm fine. After the surgery, he told me that I should keep myself occupied. I started studying. I did my
Mhm.
pre-primary training within
Mhm.
3 months of my surgery, wherein everyone passed a judgment saying that I should be, taking bed rest for 2 years,
Oh.
etc. They have their own. Everyone has their own opinion to
Mhm.
give. So they thought I would end up in vegetative state, but by God's grace and my family's support, my husband, son, my parents, my brother, everyone was so supportive. My entire family, my other family members also.
Mhm.
But I bounced back. I started learning. Then I took up a job. Now I'm working as a pre-primary coordinator and teacher in one of the schools in Mangalore. So this is about me. And yes, as I told you, there are so many people who have helped me out. God has literally helped me in every form, every step of my life in this 4 years journey. In Sudan also, as I told you, those two doctors, amazing people. I'm still in touch with them. They keep asking me how I am, about my well-being. People of Sudan, they were really amazing. They were really, really amazing. I mean, as I told you, I don't know who those people are, those workers. Even if they come in front of me now, I don't know half of them, to
Okay.
be very honest. But they have fasted for me and prayed for me, Fareen. I
Wow.
don't know. That thank you would be a very, very small word, to express my gratitude to them. I mean, I will be always indebted to them throughout my life because they have fasted and prayed for my well-being. Though I didn't know them, their family members have fasted. They have done so much of charity in my name, and they have to the needy people, and they have asked only prayers in return for me. They didn't have to
Mhm.
do all this. So it's like my husband always kept telling, he always believed that if you do good, good will happen to you.
Yes.
Whenever he helps a lot, okay? And
Mhm.
sometimes, as a wife, I used to tell him, if you're going to do charity all the time, what about your family?
Mhm.
But then always he used to tell me, uh, initially I used to tell this. I didn't know how he was because he was spending all his money like doing charity. So I
Okay.
used to tell him, if you're going to do so much of charity, then what about us?
Okay.
We may have to depend on charity from someone else, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So he used to tell, no, never think like that. If we do charity, definitely God will help us in some way or the other.
Yes.
And when this incident happened, I believe in charity. It's not that I don't. We
Mm-hmm.
do. But then too much I felt was little,
Mm-hmm.
do you have to do so much kind of, You
Right.
do, but you don't have to do out of the way kind of.
Yeah.
But then when I went through all this, I realized probably what he said is right.
Mm-hmm.
When we help someone, God will definitely help us in one way or the other, through someone or the other,
Yes.
whether they are your own people or not. See, Sudan was an unknown country. I felt initially that when I was going through all this, I felt okay. I want to go back to India. I want to go back to Mangalore. My people,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
uh, my hometown, my family, my friends will be there and all that. But then more than that, they have done for me. I don't think even people here would have done as much as they have done to whatever they have done for me. I mean, in different ways they have helped me. I mean, there were Indians also in that hospital,
Mm-hmm.
and they have gone out of the way to help me. Indians in Sudan, and there were Indian technicians and nurses and head nurse, everyone in Sudan,
Mm-hmm.
and everything was like God sent for me, to help me and protect me and take care of me through all these people. And in Mangalore also, when I came down in the hospital,
Mm-hmm.
even now I've made so many friends there in the hospital in Mangalore, that even now when I go after 4 years, of course I go in and out of the hospital for checkups. They know me so much, and they're like, the minute I enter the hospital, they're like, I hope you're okay. They
Mm-hmm.
are so concerned about my well-being. So, with irrespective of nationality, religion, caste, creed, nothing, everyone has come together to pray for me and help me out in every form. In every way possible, someone or the other has helped me out. So, this is my story. And moreover, my family, of course, has been there for me throughout this entire process. It's not the end yet. There is The road to recovery is long, yes, but I am normal. I'm not where I was, so I'm always grateful for the gift of life to God. That void will be there, that I lost my younger one, but grateful that I'm there for my elder one.
Yes.
And maybe God's destiny, that everyone was telling, okay, at least don't feel bad that you lost your younger one, you have one already,
Yes.
you have a child already. So I so hate when people said that, whoever said.
Mm-hmm.
But then probably I would have left my teaching profession if I had delivered a child. I would have completely, I had resigned in Sudan from my teaching profession. But I came back to the same profession. Then I thought maybe God has some plans for me. He took one from me, but He gave me more children through
Yeah.
my students. you know I
Yes.
saw them every day when I go to school. I still think, okay, if my child was there, my child would have been this age, would be doing all such things. But then instead of one, I have many. So for that, I'm very grateful. So this is my journey, this is my story, miracle. So God
Yes.
performs miracle, and definitely everything
Indeed.
is His
Yes.
choice and His decision. Only we have to believe in Him, trust.
Yes. Very true, Smitha. And this is an example that, as you said, God plays miracles, and also how we connect as a human being without seeing any religion, or when someone is in help, and if you have a good heart, you connect at a human level. You forget whatever is there in between, and you try to help them as much as possible. So
True, true, Karim. Seriously, I mean, there is nothing more than humanity here. So I am one biggest witness. I have witnessed so much. I don't think I can ever give this back, what people have done for me. I don't think this lifetime would be enough to give back what they have done to me, whatever they have given to me in any form. So
you
I'll be
must,
always,
I
always
think,
grateful.
you can take that as gift from God, and what you have now, You can pray for them for their well-being because prayers are the most precious gift. They perform miracles. They can change lives. So prayers you can do for them. That's how you can give things to them.
True, Fareen, that's right. Only prayers can do wonders here.
Yes,
Whether, yeah, whatever, whoever you are, if you pray with a pure heart, I think your prayers will be definitely answered, because I have witnessed this and people have prayed for me, in whether it's in Mangalore, India, or
Mhm.
in Sudan. Everyone has come together and prayed for me. In several places prayers were held, you know well, from my family, friends, Sudanese, everyone has kept prayers for me. And today I am, you know, answered. God has answered the prayers, and I am here, a live witness. Wherein nobody thought that I would make it. God has proved that He can
Yes,
do wonders.
yes, for
Nothing
sure.
is impossible.
That is very true. That is very true.
And you should
And
not give up, and
yeah,
even we should not give up. Yes, as I told you, I gave up in between several times. Even now I give up. I feel, why me all the time? Why God is giving me so much difficulties? But then when I look back, I was like, okay, He's given me a gift of life. At times I feel low, but then
mm,
I think, no, I should be grateful. He's given me this life, a second chance. So I should not keep complaining, but I should be grateful for whatever I have.
yes, exactly. Well, after all this serious talk, Smita, I have something like a fun segment for you, and
Okay.
it is called the rapid fire round. I have three random questions which you can answer in one word
Okay.
or a sentence, okay?
Okay.
Which one superpower would you like to have?
I think health.
Health. Okay, good. Yes, that you will soon achieve that perfect health.
Yes.
Okay, second question is which is your favorite book,
My favorite book. I read a lot. Any book by Dan Brown.
Dan Brown? Okay,
Yes.
nice. Okay, and last question. Now, you you cook a lot of things at home, but which is that one signature dish which everybody likes?
This is a difficult question.
Okay.
Okay, one. Prawn ghee roast.
Wow, yummy.
Noll's favorite. Actually, he will eat anything, whatever I cook.
Oh, so sweet. I think he gets all these things from you, like the cooking. He's very inspired in cooking, and I see a lot of videos on Instagram. So I think he takes
Yes.
inspiration from you.
Because as I told you, we were in Sudan, right? We were only three of us. So
Right.
my husband is busy. So Noll is with me throughout the day. So we
Hmm.
would always be in the kitchen with me and see
Okay.
what I am doing. And he
Oh.
would be asking so many questions as to what are the ingredients, what am I doing, how am I
Mm-hmm.
going to prepare, etc.,
Mm-hmm.
etc. And I used to involve him in cooking because he used to be alone and he used to get bored. So I
Okay.
had to keep him occupied. So I used to give him some small chores. And this
Okay.
is how he developed liking towards cooking.
That's interesting. That was the end of the rapid fire round, Smita, and your answers were really nice.
Thank you.
Okay, now we enter into the last segment of our podcast, wherein I ask your advice for our listeners.
My advice for listeners is, please don't judge a book by its cover, because uh, like, people have the bad habit of judging people, the other person, by their looks, their weight, or by anything. You never know what the opposite person is going through, or how the opposite person, the same person whom you're judging today, may be the person who's going to help you out tomorrow. That could be an angel in disguise who is going to come and help you out. So people don't judge, like, for example, by someone's weight. For example, me only. People tell me you are so much overweight and all those things. You don't know my story. If you know, you will not judge. Or anybody for that matter. Everyone would be having their own problems, facing their own difficulties, or whatsoever. So don't judge people by their looks or any other aspect. Live and let live. Be nice to people. If you can't be nice, if you can't be good, just be quiet. I only request them, be kind. That will go a long way and help someone, get back.
Wow, that was a lovely advice. And yes, as you said, you should not judge. And if at all you have to say something good, and not just ruin
Yes,
someone's mood, or that words can impact a lot on the other person
true,
and
Farin. True. A
help.
lot of difference happens.
Yes, yes. Because our words have a lot of power when we use it in a right way, and also, yeah, help others, because you never know who's going to help you back, right?
Yes, that's
Yes,
right, perfectly. Because when you tell something to someone, maybe that person is going through a lot of difficult times, and they would be hanging with on that thin thread, and your
yeah,
one sentence or that one word would break their little bit of happiness whatever they had, or on whichever they were, that thin line they were hanging,
yeah,
it would actually break. Instead, be kind. Just be kind.
yeah,
It'll help others. It'll
exactly,
help us also.
exactly. But Smita, I thank you so much for taking time for doing this podcast with me and sharing your story, the miracle you had, the incident you had. I thank you so much, dear.
Thank you, Farin. I must say, be thanking you because for giving me this opportunity. Because somewhere I wanted to. Just my concern was, as I told you, don't judge people. And my main thing was to tell every time, do not judge. So this is
Yes,
going to take us a long way if you stop judging. Life will be much easier and more happier
yes,
for
yes.
everyone. So thank you so much, Farin, for this opportunity. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, dear. Okay, listeners, if you have liked this episode, please click on the like button of the Limelyte page. This podcast is also available on Apple Podcast and Spotify. You can check it out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and also I am coming up with the voice analysis and enhancement program. If you want to enroll, you can enroll. It's a 3-day process where you can make your voice the ultimate brand. So thank you for listening and you have a great day ahead. Bye for now.